Welcome to the 3G Fitness Podcast,
where three generations of trainers come together to discuss all things fitness related.
Join us as we share insights, tips, and stories from our diverse experiences as we unravel the secrets of staying fit.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 3G's Fitness Podcast, three generations of fitness. I am Coach Cisco.
I am Coach Michael in the new year.
And I'm Coach Kael.
There you go. You gotta just cut them off going into the new year. What the hell?
Yeah, you know.
That's all they ain't gonna
New
fun.
year, hey.
2026.
Yeah,
2026. It's all like not 1, 2, 2. It's all like, my goodness. It's
No, I like the enthusiasm.
but it
I like
was
the
there,
enthusiasm.
right? I mean, we're
Yeah.
about to wrap up going into 2026.
That's it.
New Year's. Now, Michael, since you're over here being Michael Jolly Felcher, it's one of those where, why are you so excited about the new year?
Well, the new year to me is the start of is starting of a new part of my life in the new year.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
I have to look forward to what am I going to see in the next year and stuff. Especially now that I'm older, it's not like when I was like 27, 28, like some people,
Yeah.
you know, where I used to say, I'm going to go party, you know, and stuff. I'm going to have a good time, you know. Now it's more, okay, you got to make your life better. Okay, you got to be more successful. You got to work harder.
Amen.
It's more of a serious type of looking forward to the future for me, you know, in the new year. That's why I get excited, you know, because me at 68, I ain't 69 yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
At 68, I have different aspirations of the future.
As you
You
should.
Because of the
As anyone
podcast,
should.
because of this podcast, I think it's the greatest podcast out there. I think we have the best podcast,
Yeah, I think
you know, because we have the best format. All right. So looking forward to the future is something that I'm looking forward to in the new year. So what about you? Other than the fact that you have
I got a baby coming in,
you know,
man.
so you got a lot of looking forward to.
Well, dude, I've always loved the New Year. The New Year's always been my favorite holiday. I've always liked it because it's always been more of the celebration. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of approached it more like you, more as a, what do I got going into the next year? So I do kind of take a little bit of a pause during my fitness activities in December. I mean, I'm still working out, but I'm a little bit slowing down. But then it's like, all right, you know, I still kept a little bit of a routine. Now I can jumpstart my fitness goals. But then I look at other goals as well, too. You know, business goal, financial goals. What am I looking for? So, and I've always just loved the moment of celebration. It's just nice. Last year, this time, me and my wife, we were in Italy and we were at the Colosseum on New Year's Eve. That was dope. That was just, you know, that was our honeymoon. We counted down. We saw fireworks. We popped champagne. And it was just beautiful being at the Coliseum. And like, to me, that's always going to be a memorable New Year's. And literally we got back to our Airbnb and we set goals. And one of the goals was for baby Gianna. You know, we didn't know she was going to be a baby Gianna or a baby boy, but that was one of the goals right there. We were writing to grow the family. So setting up, resetting is always a beautiful thing.
Ooh, that's that word right there. That's what I was thinking of, resetting. I feel
Resetting.
like that's just one of the best things about the New Year's is that reset component. Because,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you didn't have the best year last year, but guess what? New year, new opportunities, you know, new chance to make a difference in the life you have ahead of you.
Yeah.
Because in 2027, your daughter's going to be almost a year old.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully walking by then. And
You know, she'll be
see.
walking. You
Oh,
know.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, you know, you have a lot to look forward to.
Well, yeah, but I think it's like, it's one of those where it's the resetting part that's, I think, super important. Hopefully, most people don't need to reset too much. You know, hopefully they didn't fall off the wagon,
Yeah.
you know, the last end of 2025, where
Right.
now you're like, but 2026 going into it, like I said, it's a good time to keep that momentum going, and here's the one thing too that I always say, fitness wise, trainer wise, is we start getting a lot of inquiries. You know, people start texting us, people start calling us. Hey,
It's time.
It's the new year, it's a new me.
exactly.
Let's go.
So to me, it's like I used to make fun of that when I was in my early 20s because it's like, oh, great, here we go. Now as I'm getting older, it's like I can't make fun of that. I gotta help with that now. It's more of like as I got older, it's like,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
yeah.
Because let's be real, going into it, everyone's motivated. Everyone's, you know, New Year's resolution is always a top resolution is to get in shape.
But I think the trainers have the hardest job in the new year coming up, because they say that, a person starts train, the first thing they do, they have the ambition to start training in the new year, but they fizzle out as it becomes like March, April. So it's a trainer's job to keep them going. And that's a hard job to do, to motivate your clients to keep going.
Yeah.
Because they're going into something that they're not totally used to. Because some of them you're getting are first timers. So it's a trainer's job to keep them going, to motivate them, to keep them going. And that's not an easy task to do at all.
Well, I yes and no. I mean, you got to really dig deep into the person in front of you and find what makes them happy.
And be personal with them.
Results will happen. Results. Okay.
Boom.
Right. Be personal with them, Mike.
Personal with
you gotta be personal with
No,
them.
I don't agree with that. I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't take personal to keep them motivated. Okay. It takes the results to keep them motivated. Not being personal with them. It doesn't keep them motivated. Results keep them motivated. When they see them getting results, they keep going.
But results don't
They
happen.
don't keep going. They don't keep going because your personal advice is helping them. That's not what keeps them going. What keeps them going is the results of them losing weight, them getting stronger, them cutting up, them looking better. That's what keeps them going, not your personal advice. That doesn't keep them going, bro. I'm sorry. You want to sit there and tell me it does, I'll tell you you're wrong.
I'm just waiting for you to finish so I can respect.
Okay, go ahead.
Because last time you kept cutting me off, so I'm trying to be respectful, and I'm letting you speak your piece, right?
I'm not going to cut you off. Now you go.
So you said results give him, what did you say? Results drives, but not motivation?
But not your personal advice.
No. Results keeps them going.
Okay. Okay, so results don't happen overnight, though.
No.
So in those period of time where you're not getting results yet, what are you doing? You're trying to keep it motivated.
You're motivating them to keep going, not getting personal with them, not talking about what their boyfriend
So how
did,
would you motivate?
Not what their boyfriend did, or they're not getting along with their mom, or they're not. You don't get into all that, man. Come on. Let's talk about the real thing. Let's talk about, man, dude, you're looking good. You're cutting up. You're losing weight. That's gonna keep them going. All right, that's gonna keep them going. Not about, well, this is what you do with your mom. Because they go back and they say, oh, mom, this, that, or dad, this, that, and that, and they get all upset. They don't come back and say, man, my mom got mad at me. She kicked me out. You don't want that. You want to keep them going. So you talk about what they look like. You talk about their progress. Because when their progress is moving up, they're going to keep coming and they're going to keep working hard. Okay? Seriously.
Yes.
I haven't said anything. I'm listening. I'm listening.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to get personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say to that?
I say one of the biggest motivators is figuring out someone's why. And for you to figure out someone's why, you have to get deep and personal with them.
To figure out their drive? Is that what you said?
Their why.
Which is why? Yeah. They're like their
figure
drive.
out their why?
Yeah, their why.
There's not a why to it. You want them to get results. That's not why.
How do you feel about this?
It's not because they're having personal problems at home. Yeah, tell them, leave it at the door.
I've said this multiple times.
But sometimes those personal problems is a big driver for them.
I've said this multiple times. If you're trying to be successful in this industry as a personal trainer, you need the R&R, relationships and results. So it's both. Right,
it is both, but I think results is more.
So results,
for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree, 100%.
Well, results is your credibility, right? Results is like, all right, if I want to lose 20 pounds, you get me to lose 20 pounds, holy moly, right? But sometimes there are people that they get to their 20-pound goal and they're like, all right, I got to my goal, bye. I got there, and then they don't continue. So, now once you get them.
Even before that, what I'm saying is like when you don't get the results.
You don't get the results really quick either.
Yeah.
So during that time that you're helping them get to the results, you develop a relationship with the client.
You're going to develop a relationship no matter what.
There you go.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that when you get results,
Yeah.
they're gonna keep going.
No, they do. They do.
They're
but
gonna keep going. I don't care.
we weren't-
I don't care how
yeah.
you say it. You give somebody results looking good, reaching their goals. They're gonna keep going.
They're going to keep going. But do you
now?
think,
No. Now.
Wow. That's
Now,
man, you treat me like Kael.
yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Now, if you give them advice and you talk about their personal life and then they go off rail, their focus is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm a firm believer, man. Stay on track. Stay on track. Keep them motivated. Keep them going. Inspire them to keep training, to keep working out, eat right, get them to understand this is the track, this is the way to go. Your personal life, deal with it. You can deal with it. Believe me, they can deal with it. Because they deal with life. They've been dealing with life their whole life.
Okay, their whole life. Look, you're not wrong. Results is going to be the mind. That's why I said result is your credibility. It's the credibility, right?
That's
so
right.
if you want a credible trainer, let me see results. All right,
Yes,
let me
there
show
you
me that
go,
you've
see
seen
'em.
results. But I'm just saying, kind of like how Kael said, the results don't happen overnight. So if let's just say it takes you 3 months to get results, you don't think in those 3 months you're going to develop a relationship with them?
No matter what,
Yes.
how long it takes, any trainer will develop a relationship.
So now can you answer me this, that you think that if within those 12 months that person's going to be motivated week 6, week 8, like throughout the whole 12-week process, you think that person's going to be motivated?
They're gonna have their downfalls.
Yeah, right. So when they go through their downfalls, do you think it'll be easier to kind of motivate them when you have a personal connection with them and you can bring up something like how Kael said, they're wise, like, hey, we're only like 7 weeks into your program. I know you're not feeling it right now, but you dig deep to maybe a personal conversation you guys had to get to their goals and their whys and their drive. You can use that tool to motivate them to keep them on track.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry, man. You guys.
So
what?
when someone loses motivated,
Let me tell you guys something.
Tell us something. Tell us.
I'm from the old school.
Yeah. Wait, okay, go.
Yeah, that's right, man. I train you. Okay. You want to talk about sports? You want to talk about this? You want to talk about that? We can talk about sports. We can talk about, this movie star or that movie star, what I think about that politician. Sure, we can talk about that, but not about a conflict you're having with your sister or with your brother, or the trouble you're going through at home and stuff. We call that psychiatry. Okay? Get help.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that too, but let me say this. If someone's having trouble at home and you don't need to know everything, but you just know enough, and you can use that as maybe a tool, be like, hey, look, I understand this is what's going on at home, but when we're here in the gym, we're doing this to help you out.
That's not personal.
So...
No, you're telling that person, let's keep your personal out of this. We're in the gym.
But if you know what's happening, like I'm telling you.
You only know a little bit.
Yeah, but that's enough to be considered personal.
You only know a little bit to give a little bit of advice. Is that what you're saying?
I don't give advice. I distract them from their stress.
You talk about when a person brings a personal issue to you and you're giving them your view, you're basically giving them advice.
That's your view. If you want to take it as advice, you can.
They're going to take it as advice because if they ask you something and you give them an answer, they're going to take that answer and say,
Well, it depends.
I wonder if Cisco's right. Let me go home and let me try this out. I'm a firm believer. I'm sorry, man, that, if I learned, okay, I learned about giving personal advice. It's not good.
Well, I've heard your personal advice. Yeah. It's not good.
No, it's not good because I'm straightforward. You want to achieve a goal. You want to achieve something. Okay, leave that personal life. Do something about it. Get rid of it. Make them understand. Get rid of it if you want to reach the goals that I want to reach. Okay.
So how do you make them understand?
Pardon me?
How do you make them understand?
I just simply told you, deal with it, let them go, work it out, do something. But don't, when you get to that door, leave it behind.
You're not wrong in that aspect.
You're not-
come in
no,
here-
yeah, you're not
don't
wrong.
come in here saying, "Oh, I can't deal with this," because he's pushing me to do this, he's pushing me to do that. He's already interfering with your training.
And that's a great way to segue into like, hey, this is why this is interfering with your training. Every time you and him go through this, from
Leave
what
it
you
at the
told
door.
me, we've seen a regression in your workout.
That's right.
So you can put that, but then it's like, so I don't want to see you to regress. So I want you to, every time we've gone through this, like how we've talked about in previous sessions, you've always regressed when you come in with that. So now you can even point it out to them, be like, because we've gotten personal, every time you've told me that you've gone through a certain circumstance, we
think I
see
gave the
you,
right answer,
well, you
bro.
know, but you can use that as a tool. Be like, now, if you want to progress in the gym, we got to figure out how to overcome that. But that's outside. I don't want to keep regressing. Let's keep going and let's go
That's
move forward.
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's why you might not. But here's
Leave
the
it
thing.
at the door.
We're not getting
Okay.
as deep as like how you think it is. Like Kael and I were talking about is like you just get like a little bit. You're gonna know a little bit of something, but we don't get in deep in detail. We're not asking, well, how does that make you feel? What is it making you? We're not asking you what's about this. I'm keeping our questions pretty superficial, maybe going a little bit deep. But the only time I get super deep is when it's related to their goals. Like, perfect example, if someone wants to lose 40 pounds, why do you want to lose 40 pounds? Oh, I want to look good. Well, why do you want to look good? Oh, maybe last year I went through a divorce. All right, cool. Now we found a bigger why. And if you wouldn't have asked those questions, now it's like, wait a minute. All right. And you can always bring it up. It's like, look, man, you went through a divorce, you gained the weight, you want to change things, you want to do things better. We got to put 110% into the program that we have here at
But
the
that's
gym.
not giving the person advice on what to do.
And that's why we're
That's
saying
not. That's what we're saying. But I think that's what you think we're doing.
You think that because getting personal is giving someone personal advice. We're telling
Yeah,
you
that's what
no.
personal means.
Did I just tell you about a quick little situation? And that was personal too.
That's
but we
personal.
didn't tell them. But it's like, all right, you find someone's like main motivation, main drive.
Well, I'm going through my divorce, so you tell them, hey, leave it at the door. Come into the gym. Let's train.
That's his go-to. Leave it at the door.
Leave it at the door.
Yeah, leave it at the door. Let's train.
Well, like I said,
Okay, when you
it's
come in
I
here,
think
I want
my
a clear-
go-to
I want a
is
clear head.
remember why you started.
yeah, just you
Because
gotta
sometimes
remember why
when
you started.
they're in the journey, and it's a long journey and they don't see results right away, they kind of lose their motivation. But you have to just bring it back to them, like, okay, why did you start?
Yeah.
What was that driving factor that got you through the doors in the
Okay,
first
so
day?
they tell you I was going through a divorce. Then what do?
That's their drive.
I tell them to leave him at the door.
That's my point. Leave it at the door.
No,
All right, no, but
that's
they
not. No, I wouldn't say that.
I
I was
understand.
just joking. I wouldn't
No,
say
you
that.
wasn't joking. You serious?
No.
Yeah,
No.
someone tells you,
No, what I say
I'm
is
going-
let's talk about it.
Or it's like
What I do is I open up the space for them to speak their
Kay,
piece
it's like
because
this.
sometimes all they
My
need to do
boyfriend-
is just speak their
Kay,
mind, and you just got to be there to listen for them.
sometimes it's like
that.
my boyfriend broke up with me. My boyfriend broke up with me. What do you tell them?
I'm gonna clip that because that was a good gem right there.
Yeah, see? And so, no, but it's like I said, there's different ways to stay motivated, all right? Like I said,
but you guys got your. I think mine are old school ways. People might think, no, that's not true. Trainers didn't really do that back then. Shit, that's not true. I'm gonna say this, and it might not fit you guys right. The way you guys came up through 24-hour fitness, right? Correct.
yeah, you could throw that out there.
Did you, right?
I think.
Well, you came up through
Wait, so
valleys.
No,
through
I didn't.
24.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't come up through valleys and stuff. When I first started training, I came up through a hardcore gym and learned.
I was gonna say, I
There
think
were
you
no-
really
there were
focus
no-
on like
there
the
were- there
grit
were
side
no
of it.
quotas. There were no, meetings and this and that. You go in there, you train a person, you train them to the best of your knowledge. That's how I came up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
You
I
guys
think
came up with rules and ways to do things and stuff in 20
I think the difference between the
Get
generations.
certified.
Okay,
Get
for sure.
this and do it this way. I didn't come up that way. We didn't have certification back in my day. There's just like, man, I just want to get strong, man. Can you give me strong, Mike? Can you give me strong?
So let me ask you this, because you guys didn't.
Oh, but you don't cut him off.
yeah,
What the?
because you guys don't.
Crazy.
You guys didn't grow up like that. You think that that's a better way of training than?
I do. I think the way I came up, the way I came up is the best way to get to your point.
I'm gonna say this. I think the difference
we didn't
is
have all
in
these
your
interference.
generation, you guys really focus on grit, which is good. Like you want that work ethic of like, nah, don't be a wimp. Like just do it. You have that in your generation. You guys really focus on the grit part. You guys had a lot of grit. I think in our generation of training, we have a lot more empathy.
Yes, science, more science.
But also more empathy. Empathy in terms of like just
along with science.
Yeah. So I think the overall message is you should take every single one of our positives, our positives, and put it all together into one training style. Because we all have benefits to what we all do.
Yeah,
for sure.
I said, whatever your styles worked. Whatever's your styles worked. Whatever's my styles worked. Like I said, the main thing is what we're trying to get at. There's styles for everybody to stay motivated, right? Like it's almost to the point where the listeners, viewers shouldn't really have an excuse when there's all these styles out there. There's a different different strokes for different folks.
Different strokes, different folks, for sure. At the end of the day, we have to basically just cater to our client.
Yeah. So, and who's ever in front of you, and that's way it helps people stay motivated because hey, New Year's resolutions, we got big ones coming up. So I personally like where we're headed as a squad, as a team. 2026. I know Michael. I couldn't think of a J name. I feel like we've been through so many J names. I was like, but Michael, I feel like you said it at the best in the beginning. You got hopes for this podcast to excel, and I want it to excel. We all want it to excel. We all got to make it. Also, give a big shout out on our most recent upgrades that we've had. Is our lovely, most talented producer behind the scenes is Felix. So we want to give Felix a huge shout out, and we want to thank him by having him come on board and helping us take a toast to 2025 going into 2026, fellas. So Felix, if you can make your way over here.
But let me say one thing.
Oh, okay? God.
Let me say one thing. I do respect you guys' training style.
Okay, thank you.
I absolutely do. I think you guys have, a really good training style that is now.
Wow, Mike, that's the nicest thing you ever told us.
Is going.
It's crazy.
You're so nice.
Are you lying? I'm just
so
kidding.
Nice.
Nah.
And that's coming from an old dog,
No, thank you, Mike.
And again, we also appreciate your training style because we don't get that much grit anymore,
Well, the same thing. We don't learn from your experiences, Or no, we learn from your experiences.
Yeah, we learn.
We learn from your
exactly.
experiences.
Man, you're
That's
starting
what
to
I meant
sound like
say.
me, man.
Yeah, well, damn, dude, Alzheimer's. So
Now we're here with our producer.
Yeah, so Felix, come on here. You
Just
guys
gonna take a healthy protein shot.
So
this is a ginger shot.
You guys like, comment, subscribe, share this.
Cheers
help us
to
out.
a great new year.
Cheers to a great new year. Felix,
Looking
thank you
forward
on
to
board.
2026.
There you go. 3G's Fitness Ginger Shot. I'm Coach Cisco.
Coach Michael.
Coach Kael.
And our producer.
Felix. Happy New Year.